How do hackers attack Wi-Fi networks? Are you safe? Is yours vulnerable? In this video, we'll break that down. I'll show you how 3 levels of hackers, a noob, a hipster, and a pro, will attack a Wi-Fi network. We're gonna simulate this at Bear Cave Coffee, a delightful coffee shop in downtown Mesquite, Texas. We'll break down every attack, showing you how it works and how you can keep yourself safe. Get your coffee ready, let's do this. Again, 3 levels of hackers, noob, hipster, and pro, will waltz in and try to attack their targets, the Wi-Fi network and the individual people in that coffee shop. Just trying to sit there and enjoy their coffee. Poor schmucks. Now disclaimer, I will be displaying and demoing real Wi-Fi attacks. You should not use any of these on anyone without explicit permission. Now if you want to test them out in your house, on your friends and family with permission, go for it, have fun, practice, learn, teach. Otherwise, don't do this to anybody. You will get in trouble, this is illegal. Now the first attack is stupid easy to do, but super effective. It's called a man-in-the-middle attack, and honestly you'll never even know what's happening. So check this out, the noob, he waltzes into the coffee shop, happy-go-lucky. Not even shy about what he's about to do. All he needs for this attack is a laptop, and that's it. He watched a few YouTube videos and learned how to install Kali Linux, a professional hacking operating system, which is pretty cool. Now, like most public places and coffee shops, there's free Wi-Fi. No need to hack into it, which by the way, you can hack into a Wi-Fi network and get the password. I'll show you how to do that here in a moment. But the Wi-Fi password's right there on the wall. He connects to it and begins to find his victims. Again, this is stupid easy. He fires up Kali Linux and with one command launches a tool called BetterCat. Now the noob hacker is going to start with a bit of recon, the first stage of any good hack. He'll turn on net probing, enabling him to scan the current Wi-Fi network and find targets. And then he'll type in net.show to see what he's found. It's his lucky day. There's his target right there. Now it's time for the man-in-the-middle attack. Again, scary effective, here's what's happening. On the Wi-Fi network at the coffee shop, we have our target just sitting there chilling on his laptop drinking coffee. His laptop is connected to the Wi-Fi router, and every time he wants to visit a website, he'll tell the router, hey, I wanna go to NetworkChuck.com, and the router connects him, focusing on the fact that the conversation's happening right now between the target and the Wi-Fi router, how it should be. But the noob hacker wants to get in the middle of this conversation, and that's exactly what he does. Check this out. What the noob hacker wants to do here is first he wants to trick the Wi-Fi router. He's gonna tell him, hey, the target, we'll call the target Bob, because I'm getting tired of saying the target. Bob's not over there anymore. I'm Bob. Anything you had to say to Bob, you say to me. And that's what he does. This is called ARP spoofing. ARP is what devices use in a network to discover where things are. So if the Wi-Fi router is in a crowded room, let's say a party, and he wants to find Bob, he'll send an ARP message. Bob, where are you? And Bob, hearing that message, will say, I'm by the bathroom! So now the Wi-Fi router knows where Bob is and he can send Bob a message or keep talking to him or whatever. But in this situation, the hacker's gonna mess with the ARP communication. The Wi-Fi router thinks Bob's in the bathroom, but the hacker's gonna come in and just yell, hey Wi-Fi router, I'm Bob and I'm by the stairs. And the router, let's face it, he's kind of a dum-dum, so he's like, okay, you're Bob now. And then the attacker does the same thing to Bob. He goes, hey Bob, I'm the router, I'm by the stairs. And he sends his malicious ARP packet to Bob. And your device, it's kind of a dum-dum. So it's gonna believe it. So now, do you see what's happened? The target thinks the hacker is the router. So when he wants a website, he's gonna send it to the hacker. And the hacker will forward it along, no big deal. He'll send it to the router. That way things seem to work like usual. And that's kind of the goal here. You don't want the target to know he's being hacked. And on the flip side, when the Wi-Fi router is ready to send the NetworkChuck.com webpage back to Bob, he thinks Bob is the attacker. And the attacker has effectively placed himself right in the middle. He's the man in the middle. Let's do that right now. The attacker will set up his ARP by setting it to full duplex mode, and then he'll specify his target, the guy he identified in his probing earlier. So now with that set, all he has to do is turn ARP spoofing on with one command. And before I do that, I wanna open up a packet capture program called Wireshark. What this will do is actually capture everything it's seeing going across the network. And because all the network between the target and the router are going through the hacker here, we're gonna see a lot. So I'm gonna start tracking or capturing on WLAN0, the interface he's working on. I'm gonna look for an IP source address of, what was the IP address again? 196. And you'll watch this flood in as I take over. Turning on ARP spoofing, boom, did you see that? Now I'm seeing everything. Every bit of internet this person's visiting is coming through me. I can see it. I'm the hacker now, in case you didn't know. If I change my filter to DNS, I'll just go to NetworkChuck.com. You can see right there, all the requests coming through. I can see every website being visited. Now what's scary is the noob hacker didn't have to know what ARP spoofing is or how a man-in-the-middle attack works. He just had to follow a tutorial online and hit a few keys on his keyboard. That's it. But honestly, kind of harmless if he doesn't have the correct skills to take it further. Because while he does have control of your traffic and he can do some crazy stuff to you, he probably doesn't know how to do that. But in the hands of a real hacker, you better watch out. Now I'm gonna stop this real quick and show you what happens if NordVPN is being used. I'm gonna reset my capture here. So no spoofing, I can't see anything. Just a few messages going across the network. The target will connect to NordVPN, and this is kind of crazy, watch this. We'll turn ARP spoofing back on. It 100% is working. Notice here in Wireshark, every message kind of looks the same. It's between my target and one destination, which is NordVPN, and then the protocol is WireGuard. What's happening here is every bit of the target's traffic is being encrypted and hidden from the attacker. The hacker can't see anything. This is nonsense. He can't do anything with it. The WireGuard protocol encrypts it to where you can't see inside of it. So even though you may be the target of a man-in-the-middle attack, if you're connected to VPN, you kind of foiled the attacker's plans. Can't touch you. Connect to VPN. Now this right here is probably the scariest attack. It's called an evil twin attack. And twins are already scary. You add an evil one, I'm done. But seriously, this one is crazy effective. And again, not that hard to do as an attacker, even for a noob. Now here's what makes the evil twin attack so evil, and why pretty much anyone can fall for it, including me, without even knowing it. How it works is you have your standard Wi-Fi network. So let's say a Bear Cave Coffee. The evil twin is simply that. It's a copy of it that looks just like it, operating on the same wireless channel, and if the hacker's really good, will have the same wireless password. That's coming up in a moment. And the goal is to try and get you to connect to the evil one instead of the good one. And looking at these two wireless networks, how would you know? They're gonna show up the same way on your phone and your laptop. You wouldn't know. That's the evil part. Now for the noob, it is a bit more difficult. He'll need a few more YouTube tutorials and a special Wi-Fi adapter, one that can go into monitor mode like this alpha network adapter. The good news for humanity is that getting that set up is kind of hard, if not just frustrating. So the noob will sit there for a while, maybe get frustrated trying to install the drivers. So we'll let him figure that out, and we'll move on to the hipster hacker and how he might set up an evil twin attack. Now the hipster, he's cool, man. He doesn't need any special Wi-Fi hacking gear. In fact, he's always carrying. He always has Wi-Fi hacking gear with him in the form of a Flipper Zero. It can do a lot, including hacking your Wi-Fi. And look at this hipster hacker, you would never know, right? He's just there to sip some coffee and read a novel, or so you think. The hipster nonchalantly walks into the coffee shop and finds a place where he can hide his Flipper Zero. He connects his ESP32 dev board, or a Wi-Fi dev board flash with the Marauder firmware, enabling the Flipper Zero to do crazy Wi-Fi attacks, and he simply just kind of hides it on a bookshelf somewhere, behind some stuff. No one's gonna notice this. He then sits down, pulls out his phone, and remotely controls the Flipper Zero. Now the hipster hacker's already done the hard work of getting the Flipper Zero set up to be able to do wireless hacks. Once it's set up, it's super easy to just do it. He goes through a simple menu, turns on an evil twin, and even adds a captive portal. What is that? You've seen it before. You go to a coffee shop like Starbucks or an airport, and you connect to the Wi-Fi. Immediately, a web page pops up, prompting you to either accept terms before you connect, or maybe even log in. Or if you're at a hotel, you put your hotel room number in, and once you finish that process, you're connected to the Wi-Fi. It's a normal thing, used for good purposes. Not here though. The Flipper Zero can spin up a captive portal, pretending to be anything, maybe Google, maybe Facebook. And you, not realizing you're connecting to an evil twin network, will put in your credentials, which are immediately fed to the hipster hacker, and he's got your password and your email, and he can do whatever he wants with it. Now the downside with the Flipper Zero is if a target connects to the Wi-Fi network it's broadcasting, the evil twin, it can't give it internet. So as the target, you'll know immediately like, oh my gosh, this Wi-Fi network is not working. It can't go to anything, so you disconnect. This is where the pro comes in, and this, oh my gosh, the pro is so scary. So the pro, he walks into the coffee shop and he orders coffee, got his hoodie on, doesn't want to be seen, doesn't want to be known. This is the first time he's been outside in 3 years. So naturally, he finds a shadowy dark corner in the coffee shop to hang out and prepare his wireless attack. He pulls out this crazy spider-looking contraption called a Wi-Fi Pineapple Enterprise, a device tailor-made to hack Wi-Fi networks. And its specialty is evil twin attacks. The professional hacker will start with screwing in the million antennas it uses to attack. He'll then connect to its very nice, friendly web interface and start doing a bit of recon, scanning the entire wireless network around it, literally catching everything. And with one click, he can identify the network he wants to impersonate and become an evil twin of, and it becomes an evil twin, just like this. Now, the scary part about this is that devices do sometimes lose connection to the Wi-Fi router. Go to the bathroom, come out, it reconnects. Leave, come back, it reconnects. And as long as the Wi-Fi Pineapple is broadcasting a stronger signal, you're gonna connect to him. That's what your devices are built to do. Prioritize a stronger signal. So it's really easy for that massive spider-looking device to have a stronger signal than anything else around it. Now, it's not just that. Maybe you don't connect to Wi-Fi. Maybe your 5G on your cell phone is good. You don't have to worry about that. You don't connect to Wi-Fi, you're too smart for that. Not with the Wi-Fi pineapple. It can make you connect to a Wi-Fi even when you don't want to. Here's a scenario. Last year, you were at a conference in Vegas. No cell signal in that conference, but they did have free Wi-Fi. Let's say it was a coffee convention, obviously. I go to those. Not really. It was called coffee Wi-Fi, whatever. It was open, you connected to it, you used it, you left Vegas, you're done. Now what you don't know, what you don't realize, is that wireless network, your phone remembers it. And everywhere you go, your phone is sending out probes saying, hey, coffee conference network. Are you here? Because it's always wanting to connect. That's how it auto connects to your home network and your work network. It's sending out probes, and when it's like, oh, I found one, it auto connects if you have that setting configured. Okay, Chuck, what's your point? Okay, well, a year later, you come into Bear Cave Coffee. Your phone still remembers that Vegas conference coffee wireless thing. And it's sending out probes. The Wi-Fi pineapple listens for those probes. All the probes. Every wireless connection your phone remembers and is looking for. The Wi-Fi pineapple grabs it, makes an evil twin of it, and broadcasts it. I don't know why, the Wi-Fi pineapple movement. So your phone, if it's configured to automatically connect to a network, will see that network and go, hey buddy, long time no see, let's connect. And it connects. Did you do it? No, your phone did it. The Wi-Fi pineapple took care of it for you. And now you're connected to a hacker's network. You're compromised without even trying. How terrifying is that? That probing feature is insane. It literally grabs all the Wi-Fi networks it can find and broadcasts those, casting a wide net, catching whatever it can. And once you're connected, the hacker can do whatever he wants, especially a pro hacker. The captive portal, yeah, it can do that. And what's crazy is the pro hacker, that took him 5 minutes. Not even that, it was a few clicks. It's automated. Often, they have a script that runs, a little playbook. They come in, they click, and it just goes, and it does it. And then looking back at the Noob hacker, he eventually figured out how to install the drivers for his alpha network adapter, and he installed a few tools to get this thing going. He uses a tool called DNS Mask to run DHCP, which will hand out IP addresses, and to run DNS, which will help his targets actually reach websites on the internet. And then he'll launch Host APD, another really fun Linux tool, which will just launch a wireless network out of thin air. In this case, it's evil. He's matching the SSID and the channel name to be the exact same, so you'll accidentally connect to it. And for the pro and noob hacker, once you're connected to their network, I'm telling you, they can do whatever they want. One of the cool things they can do, and when I say cool, I mean like terrifying, is they can spoof your DNS. Now we just talked about DNS. It stands for Domain Name System, and it's essential with how the internet works. When you go to visit a website, let's say target.com, your computer has no idea how to get to target.com because it's looking for an IP address somewhere in a data center somewhere else in the world. Target.com is just like a nickname, a friendly name, so we don't have to type in IP addresses in our URL bar. So to make that thing easier for us, we have DNS servers. So we say, hey, DNS server, I want to go to target.com, and he says, okay, let me look up where that IP address is. And then he tells your computer, hey, this is the IP address for that thing your owner wanted to visit. That happens for every single thing you visit. Target.com, Facebook.com, Google.com. It has to do a DNS lookup, find out what the IP address is, and then it can go to that. The scary part about this is that the DNS server is the hacker's computer. It's the noob's computer, it's the Wi-Fi pineapple sitting there, and the hacker can make that DNS server respond in any way it wants. So you try to go to target.com, the DNS server can go, you know what? Target's not over there where it actually is. Target.com is actually on a server I just made, a fake website. I even used a tool to clone the website, so it looks just like Target. And when you visit that, you won't even realize. You type in target.com, I tell you it's here, you get there, it looks the same, you think you're fine, right? No. Now this attack is called DNS spoofing. It's very common and often hard to notice. Now what's unique about this site is that it's running the Beef framework, meaning that I now have control as the hacker of your browser, and I can do some crazy things like send you weird messages, I can rickroll you, and these are all just fun things. More nefarious things would be like controlling your webcam, getting all your website logins, escalating and getting more access to your PC. In the hands of a skilled hacker, that's a lot. And while some of these attacks are more advanced, what I've just kind of demonstrated isn't that hard to learn and do. So what's your protection? NordVPN. Use a VPN, please. Because even if you connect to an evil twin network, a Wi-Fi network owned and operated by a hacker trying to get you, if you're connected to NordVPN, your traffic's encrypted, they can't see it. And if you're really paranoid, you can do double VPN, onion over VPN, and the attacker can't spoof your DNS. All your DNS queries are encrypted and secure when you're connected to NordVPN. Now what if you're not connected? What if you forget? NordVPN still has your back for the worst case scenarios. They got some new threat protection, so like this option right here, I'm gonna enable it right now. Even when you're not connected to VPN, it will protect you from cyber threats. So things like malware, trackers, even has file protection, prevents you from downloading malicious things. So even if the attacker is trying to get you to download malware and get a more serious foothold in your system, having NordVPN there and present on your computer with this setting enabled can help protect you. But best case scenario, you're connecting to NordVPN and you're protected all across the board. And if you head on over to nordvpn.com/NetworkChuck, you'll get a crazy deal, an insane discount and 4 bonus months for free. Now let's talk about Wi-Fi password cracking. how can a hacker get access to your Wi-Fi network and figure out your Wi-Fi password? Because maybe they just want to steal your Wi-Fi. Maybe they're your neighbor. They're on your Wi-Fi, you don't even know it. Or they're trying to get access to your network so they can do more things, like a man-in-the-middle attack. Or maybe it's a business network and they want to attack your servers and stuff. That's a real thing. And for the professional hacker who's trying to really do some crazy evil twin attacks, having that Wi-Fi password for your network is going to make it a lot more effective. So how does a hacker crack a password? It's actually not too crazy. Check this out. We'll start with the noob. He'll come in, he's gonna use what's called the AirCrack NG suite. He'll first put his alpha network adapter into monitor mode by doing airmon NG WLAN0 start. This allows his Wi-Fi adapter, instead of just connecting to a wireless network, it can now listen and even do kind of attacking things. I'll show you here in a bit. Something called a DAuth attack. It's kind of awesome. Then he'll type in IWconfig just to make sure it is up and running and in monitor mode. Now sometimes other processes on your Kali Linux computer can interfere with that. Typing in airmon NG check kill will check and kill those processes if there is something there. Now it's time to start the monitoring with one command, aerodump NG WLAN0, using the switch -ABG to monitor all types of wireless channels, 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. He'll start monitoring and he can see everything, all the wireless networks in the vicinity, everything he can reach. And since he is at Bear Cave Coffee, he immediately recognizes and locates Bear Cave Coffee, the wireless network. With that network identified, he wants to go deeper and research more. So using the same command as earlier, aerodump NG, he'll specify the MAC address or the station address of the AP or the wireless router, the channel it's operating on, and then specify a file to dump that information in. And finally, the wireless interface WLAN0. Now he's gonna keep this up and running and capturing for a while, because what he's looking for is this, a four-way handshake. Capturing this special four-way handshake will give him all he needs to crack the wireless password. Now what is that? Whenever your device connects to a wireless access point, or when you walk into a new place, you see wireless and you try to connect, it's gonna do a little howdy do between itself and the wireless network. 4 separate messages. It's this exchange of the 4 messages that authenticate your phone to the AP, the access point. They're also called EAPOL messages or EAPOL. And again, once captured, the hacker can take that information and find out your password, maybe. Now he could just sit there and wait for someone to come in and try to connect. And this is also assuming the wireless password isn't broadcasted on the wall or something. He's trying to crack into it. So if he's not patient and he doesn't want to wait, he can use what's called a deauthentication attack. And this attack is kind of crazy. He can actually force any phone, laptop, or device on the wireless network to lose its connection, to deauthenticate from the wireless network. He doesn't have to be connected to it. He just has to be adjacent to it. Now this is abusing something that is common in a wireless network. The Wi-Fi router often might send a deauth message to its clients to say, hey, you need to reconnect for whatever reason. It's a real thing. But the hacker can abuse that by sending his own deauth messages, pretending to be the Wi-Fi router to the clients. And what are they gonna do? They're gonna listen. They're like, oh, I'm just gonna disconnect and then reconnect. So with the AirPlay NG command, the noob does that. He can either target one individual person that he scanned in recon or the entire network, and all clients get deauthenticated all at once. And when he does that, bam, he does capture a 4-way handshake when they try to reconnect. And then he ends his capture. He sees the EAPOL message. I think I'm saying that right. He stops it and now he can go about cracking it. For the hipster, it's even easier. He's got his flipper 0. He places it down somewhere. He scans the network around him with a few simple button presses on his phone, right? It's so crazy easy. He chooses his target. He runs a deauthentication attack, immediately starts capturing raw packets from the network. And hopefully, fingers crossed, he also captured a 4-way handshake. Now again, shedding light on the fact that the Flipper 0 is so compact. It looks like a toy. No one's gonna notice you're hacking anything. I love that about the Flipper 0. It's also the most terrifying thing about the Flipper 0. And then of course the professional hacker, he's a bit more obvious, but he's hiding, so it doesn't matter. He's professional. And his attack is a lot easier. When he enables scanning for his Wi-Fi Pineapple Enterprise, it automatically is set to start receiving all the handshakes it can. And with a few clicks, he can just say, you know, hey, deauth this network, deauth this client. And it captures it seamlessly within moments. It's super easy for the professional. Now, whether you're a noob, hipster, or pro, we're all gonna end up here. You're gonna have a packet capture file with a 4-way handshake. Now just so you know, having the 4-way handshake doesn't mean you have the Wi-Fi password, but it does mean you have the ingredients to figure it out. So for example, let's say we have our 4 messages, the 4-way handshake, 1, 2, 3, 4. The way the hacker might try to figure out the password with this 4-way handshake is guessing a lot. Let's take a password like password 123 and combine it with the ingredients in the 4-way handshake and see if that password can successfully decrypt one of the messages in the 4-way handshake, that we know that's the correct password. Now it's a lot more complex than this, but that's essentially what we're doing. And the software we're about to use is going to guess lots of passwords over and over and over and over and over again until we finally find one that does the job. It's like you got a lock and you're trying a bunch of different keys to see which one will unlock it. And of course the first thing we'll need is a big bag of keys, or a big bag of passwords, otherwise known as a word list or a password word list. A list filled with hundreds, sometimes thousands of passwords that will try and try and try over time. And depending on how strong and powerful your computer is how fast we can try these passwords. Now the Noob hacker, he's gonna try this, but he's not very experienced and he'll probably fail. He's gonna use a default word list, a list of passwords previously maybe used by people in the wild, discovered through other hacks and things. It's actually a popular list called RockU, and it does contain a ton of passwords. So he'll extract that, try to crack it with the error crack command, and notice it's gonna take a while. And there's no guarantee the password actually exists in that database. That's a finite list of passwords. This is where the hipster and the professional hacker are gonna differ a bit. They're more experienced. They know that the password will probably be uniquely pertinent to the place they're trying to attack, and they'll use that to their advantage. And this is a bunch of super cool tools. First, they'll use a tool called, well, Cool, and I did not do that on purpose, I promise. They'll use Cool to crawl the website of the coffee shop to find all the keywords that might be used in a password, and it'll output that to a list. How cool is that? We'll then use a tool called PyPal, which will look through that word list and find words that'll probably really be used in a password, identifying the top 10. And I'll use some special Linux foo to put that into a nice and neat list that we can use with our next tool. And this is a custom tool that we built ourselves, or the hipster and professional hacker did. It's a Python script that's gonna go through this list and combine all the words in different ways. And finally, with our word list, we'll do the same thing as the Noob hacker did, just with a more targeted list, taking less time and giving us a higher odds of discovering the password. And within half a second, we find the password. It's Mesquite Coffee. We got it. Now, this is very simplistic, what I showed you here, but it's an example of how someone might discover a password. If they can do the same thing like profiling your house, discovering more about you. And once they have that Wi-Fi password, they can connect to your Wi-Fi, use it all they want, or connect to it and do some bad stuff, making a really, really, really evil twin, or doing lots of other things, like gaining footholds in your servers, getting all your files. You name it, it can be done. So let's talk about safety and security. What can you do to protect yourself? First and foremost, as an individual, as a user, protecting your own internet traffic and your own data, VPN, NordVPN, check it out, link below. Beyond VPN, what about your own Wi-Fi network or your business's network? The first thing you can do is just have a strong Wi-Fi password. Randomly generated characters that have nothing to do with you. Yeah, it's a pain to share it, I get it. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Security does come at a price, but it's a lot cheaper than the consequences of not having it. Now, beyond that, there's really not much else you can do, especially against evil twin attacks or man-in-the-middle attacks, unless you have more enterprise hardware. There are enterprise Wi-Fi networks out there that can do some cool stuff. One thing is they can do host isolation for all the hosts connecting to your network. So man-in-the-middle attack can't even happen. They can't talk or connect to anyone else on that network. Can't happen. As far as evil twin attacks, much harder to deal with, but a lot of these smart enterprise wireless networks can actually look out for similar SSIDs or the same SSID as the networks they're broadcasting and alert you or try to stop them with their own kind of Wi-Fi mitigation attacks. It's very cool. Anyways, that's Wi-Fi. I'm about to travel with my family to Japan. I'm using these techniques to protect myself and look out for people, mainly just connecting all my kids and my family and myself to VPN while I'm traveling. That's all I got. I'll catch you guys next time.